Samsung could reschedule the presentation of its Galaxy S26 range to better compete with iPhone. It isn't a surprise that the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, scheduled out next January, will be powered in all countries by Qualcomm's next flagship application processor, the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2. To be more explicit, the phone will receive the customized variation of this chipset with the added "for Galaxy" label. According to a machine-translated Weibo tweet from Digital Chat Station, the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 might be announced in September instead of October, which is when Qualcomm debuted its last two flagship APs. Why would Qualcomm reschedule the announcement to September from October? One probable explanation for this action is that it would prevent MediaTek from dominating the media spotlight with the release of the Dimensity 9500 SoC, which is also slated to take place in September, just 4 months away by the way. Not only is there a very strong competition building between the two fabulous chip designers, but both are scheduled to have their 2025 flagship APs built by TSMC utilizing its third-generation 3nm manufacturing node. Another option is that Samsung wants to start accepting pre-orders for its flagship line a bit early. Interestingly, should Samsung shift the Galaxy S26 series debut a month earlier, it might take place in December 2025. That would suggest that pre-orders for both the Galaxy S25 and Galaxy S26 lines took place in the same year. It also would help Samsung compete against the iPhone 17 series by eliminating the time gap between the introduction of both flagship lines. Digital Chat Station delves a bit further with his Weibo post by stating that alongside a September debut for both processors, flagship Android phones powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 will start to enter the marketplace in October. The Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 is likely to contain enhanced Pegasus cores from Qualcomm with a maximum clock speed of 5 GHz. It also is likely to feature LPDDR6 RAM and a new Adreno 840 GPU. The Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 will preserve the 2+6 core arrangement featured on the Snapdragon 8 Elite. This is made up of 2 prime cores running as high as 4.32 GHz, although the for Galaxy version would definitely boost this speed, and 6 performance cores clocked as fast as 3.53 GHz. Compared to the Snapdragon 8 Elite, the successor will apparently bring a 25% boost in performance, while the Adreno 840 GPU will reportedly offer a 30% rise in performance. Those data originate from a previous Weibo post posted around 2 weeks earlier by the same source. Most likely all Galaxy S26 series devices in the US, China, and Canada will be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2. Elsewhere, you can anticipate the Galaxy S26 and Galaxy S26 Plus to be powered by Samsung's own Exynos 2600 processor with the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 AP operating the Galaxy S26 Ultra in all regions. If there's one area where Samsung is obviously beating Apple, it's in how it's incorporating AI functions. The launch for Apple Intelligence has been nothing short of a nightmare, whereas Samsung's Galaxy AI and Gemini integration have been a delight. However, it doesn't mean that Samsung gets to rest on its laurels. I've been impressed by Galaxy AI on the Galaxy S25, particularly its cross-app activities. That said, there is still potential for improvement. For instance, although Galaxy AI can summarize a YouTube video and put the facts into the Samsung Notes app, the phone may get confused and present some rather weird information. Samsung should seek to strengthen the AI functions on the Galaxy S26 to deliver the greatest overall experience, while expanding on the excellent foundation that currently exists. I want to see more practical tools that contribute to our day-to-day lives, and less of a push for capabilities like picture generating. Saying that the rollout of One UI 7 has been complex would be an understatement. Samsung's software, based on Android 15, may provide a lot of exciting features like the Now bar, but to me, Samsung's rollout has looked haphazard. We're still receiving updated One UI 7 builds months after the S25's debut. That upgrade is introducing features that had been missing from the version that went with Samsung's new phones, including Now bar and live notification support for the media player, as well as a new charging animation. Hopefully, the Galaxy S26 release will have a full OS, rather than one we need to wait for a whole version of. One of the weirdest features about the Galaxy S25 was that it didn't have complete QE2 charging capabilities on the smartphone. Instead, if you wanted to make advantage of the functionality, you needed to acquire a Galaxy S25 case with built-in magnets for optimum charging. That's something that has to be addressed with the Galaxy S26. I don't like needing to purchase a cover to utilize a specific function that should simply be a part of the phone. So ideally, Samsung provides a Qi2 ring with the Galaxy S26. This will be particularly sensible given how popular many of the Qi2 accessories are and how ubiquitous the integration has gotten. While we're talking about charging, I would also want to see Samsung make the Galaxy S26 charge quicker than the 25 watt rates that basic model Galaxy flagships have given for years. In reality, 25 watt isn't glacially sluggish. When we tested the phone, we got the Galaxy S25 to a 57% charge within 30 minutes. But other Android phones are speedier. The OnePlus 13 supports 80 watt or 100 watt fast charging, depending on what region of the globe you purchase the phone. As a consequence, it reached to a 92% charge in 30 minutes. Even more astounding, the OnePlus 13 sports a 6000 mAh battery compared to the Galaxy S25's smaller 4000 mAh power pack. While I'm making demands, why not boost the size of that battery too, Samsung? There's still a lot we don't know about the Samsung Galaxy S26, but I don't doubt that it will be a step forward over the present Galaxy S25. However, what shape that step up takes is the essential aspect here, and ideally, at least part of what I want to see shows in the next phone. But let me know what you think, particularly if you're a Samsung fan or are inclined to transfer companies. What do you like to see from future Samsung smartphones, and what would encourage you to upgrade? The Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra is still a long way off yet, but we're beginning to hear quite a few things about it, with the newest information shedding light on the Leica camera, charging capabilities, and S Pen. All of information comes from tipster PandaFlash Pro, who, in a series of postings on X, disclosed different facts regarding the phone. According to them then, the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra would once again sport a 200 megapixel primary camera. In reality, it will supposedly feature precisely the same sensor, but with updated pixels and a new lens. So it should make for a slight update to the primary camera, but probably no big modifications. A lack of meaningful modifications is somewhat of a trend for this series of leaks, as the same source also states that the S Pen and its dedicated slot will stay, which is maybe predictable, although they caution that future versions may not have a slot for the stylus. And they also suggest that the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra won't include a magnetic ring to work with Qi2 charging and magnetic attachments. This is the same scenario as with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, which enables you to utilize those capabilities, but only if you place the phone in a suitable case, with the magnets being incorporated into the case rather than the phone. With the potential exception of eliminating the S Pen slot on a future model, none of this seems shocking. But we'd still take it with a grain of salt, particularly given the source doesn't currently have much of a track record. And although the reports above imply not much is changing on the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, some other features of it might change, with prior leaks pointing to a variable aperture camera, a larger battery, and a significant performance bump. Samsung's software approach for the Galaxy S26 Ultra is a considerable leap forward. By possibly skipping One UI 8.1 and delivering One UI 8.5, Samsung intends to create a more coherent and feature-rich user interface. Built on Android 16, this software version offers many significant enhancements meant to boost usability and productivity. Enhanced multitasking features, enabling users to handle several programs and tasks with more efficiency. Smoother animations and transitions, offering a more visually pleasing and smooth experience. Optimized interoperability with foldable smartphones like the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7, making sure a unified ecosystem experience. One UI 8.5 highlights Samsung's dedication to delivering an intuitive and seamless software environment, enabling consumers to realize the potential of their devices. Artificial intelligence plays a major role in the Galaxy S26 Ultra, driving features that increase both use and customization. Samsung has combined AI-powered capabilities to develop a smartphone that adjusts to unique user preferences and demands. advanced picture editing capabilities that allow exact modifications with minimum effort, making professional quality edits accessible to all users. Smarter voice assistance enables more natural, intuitive interactions, enabling users to complete activities effectively with voice commands. Adaptive UI components and predictive app recommendations, adapting the device experience to your habits and preferences. These AI capabilities seek to create a smartphone experience that not only listens to user requests, but also predicts demands, producing a more customized and efficient digital environment. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is built with durability in mind, debuting with Android 16 and benefiting from Samsung's comprehensive software update program. This guarantees the gadget stays relevant and competent in the face of developing technologies. Future upgrades, including Android 17, are likely to provide further features and enhancements. However, One UI 8.5 will remain the cornerstone of the device's software experience, underscoring Samsung's focus to long-term customer pleasure and device dependability. The Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra reflects a significant advancement in smartphone technology. By combining gradual hardware advances with significant software developments, the gadget is meant to adapt to the demands of current consumers. Whether creating amazing photographs, managing chores across devices, or exploring the promise of AI, the Galaxy S26 Ultra gives a premium experience that corresponds with the needs of a connected and active digital lifestyle. Samsung is apparently testing numerous prototypes of the Galaxy S26 Ultra, with the final design set to be presented closer to the actual launch. This iterative approach demonstrates the company's drive to innovation, ensuring the final product combines the finest of its technical breakthroughs. For consumers, the Galaxy S26 Ultra marks a big leap forward in smartphone technology. With its upgraded battery, quicker charging, and better camera system, it strives to match the needs of current consumers while establishing new industry norms. As anticipation rises, the S26 Ultra is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing smartphone launches of the year. 1. Battery. Silicon carbon technology for prolonged use and enhanced thermal control. 2. Charging. 65-watt rapid charging for speedier and more efficient power-ups. 3. Camera. 200 megapixels primary sensor, improved periscope zoom for greater photography. 4. Missing feature. No under-display selfie camera owing to current technological restrictions. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is more than simply a smartphone. It marks a major stride toward the future of mobile technology. With its unique features and user-focused design, Samsung is positioned to produce a smartphone that not only meets but surpasses expectations. As the launch date approaches, all eyes are on Samsung to present a flagship that lives up to its lofty promise. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more tech news. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.